आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे जूडिथ राइट के वर्क द कंपनी ऑफ लवर्स के एमसीक्यूज। चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। व्हाट ईयर वॉज जूडिथ राइट बॉर्न? द आंसर इज सी, 1915 में इनका जन्म हुआ था। जूडिथ राइट वॉज ए प्रोमिनेंट फिगर इन विच ऑस्ट्रेलियन लिटरेरी फील्ड? जूडिथ राइट ऑस्ट्रेलियन लिटरेरी फील्ड में क्या प्रोमिनेंट फिगर थे? द आंसर इज सी, पोइट्री। जूडिथ राइट वॉज एन ऑस्ट्रेलियन पोइट, वो एक ऑस्ट्रेलियन पोइट थे। जूडिथ राइट वॉज ए वर्सेटाइल राइटर हु प्रोड्यूस वर्क इन विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग लिटरेरी फॉर्म्स? द आंसर इज ए, पोइट्री एंड शॉर्ट स्टोरी। इन विच ऑस्ट्रेलियन स्टेट वॉज जूडिथ राइट बॉर्न? द आंसर इज ए, न्यू साउथ वेल्स इनका जन्म हुआ था। व्हाट इज द प्रोमिनेंट थीम इन जूडिथ राइट्स पोइट्री? प्रोमिनेंट थीम क्या थी जूडिथ राइट की पोइट्री की? द आंसर इज बी, environmental conservation. What is the title of the expanded edition of Judith Wright's collection of poems that focus on birds? The answer is C, birds. What was the name of Judith Wright's daughter? The answer is C, Meredith. What did Judith Wright primarily focus on in her poetry as seen in her works such as The Two Fires and Bora Ring? The answer is B, the relationship between shelters and indigenous Australians. Judith Wright was not only a poet but also a renowned environmental activist. Which environmental organization did she help establish on Australia? The answer is C, the Wildlife Preservation Society of Queensland. Which prestigious literary award did Judith Wright receive in 1991 for her contribution of Australian literature? The answer is D, Order of Australia. What was the primary focus of Judith Wright's activism during her lifetime? The answer is C, indigenous land rights and environmental conservation. What did Judith Wright advocate for in her letter to Australian Prime Minister John Howard, which was described as almost brutal in its scorn? The answer is C. In addition to a literary achievement, Judith Wright was actively involved in advocating for, the answer is B, conservation of the Great Barrier Reef. What was the first book of poetry by Judith Wright published in 1946? The answer is B, The Moving Image. Judith Wright was noted for its focus on C, Australian environment, for which Wright was nominated in 1967 Nobel Prize. Wright was suffering from the loss of her hearing at which stage of her life? The answer is C, in her mid-20s. When did Judith Wright become completely deaf? 1992 में वो completely deaf हो गई. Who was the second Australian to receive the Queen's Gold Medal for Poetry? The answer is C, Judith Wright. On what date Judith Wright pass away? At what age? The answer is B, 25th June 2000, age 85. Hunting Snake and the Old Pigeon are notable poems written by which Australian poet? The answer is B, Judith Wright. In which year was the poem Company of Lovers by Judith Wright published? 1946. What significant historical events were occurring around the time the poem published? The answer is D, World War II. What does the poem The Company of Lovers suggest about the way lovers find happiness? The answer is D, in each other's company. How does the poem use the metaphor of a narrow grave to convey its message? The answer is C, it emphasizes the limited times available for love and happiness. What is the poem The Company of Lovers suggest about the urgency of the lover's situation? The answer is C, they feel a pressing need to enjoy the present moment. What is the central emotions expressed in the poem The Company of Lovers? The answer is B, fear and anxiety. Which literary deceive is employed in the line "We shall be lonely" in the poem? The answer is A, metaphor. What is the significance of the phrase "Death draw his cordon" in the poem? The answer is C, it suggests the encroachment of death. What is the overall mood created by the poem The Company of Lovers? The answer is B, melancholic and fearful. What does the phrase "lock your warm hand above the chilling hurt suggests in the poem? The answer is B. A gesture of comfort and security. How does the lover in the poem respond to the approach of death? The answer is C. They hold hand and seek warmth in each other. What is the primary theme of the poem The Company of Lovers? The answer is B. The fleeting nature of life and love. What is the significance of the dark preludes of the drums in the poem? The answer is C. They serve as a metaphor for the approach of death. What is the primary figure of the speech used in the line Death marshals up his armies round us in the poem? The answer is A. Metaphor. The poem The Company of Lovers prominently employs which style of writing? The answer is C. Symbolic and metaphorical. Which figure of speech is used in the line for this one thing, one on, to emphasize the importance of love? The answer is C. Repetition. Complete the line from the line. We meet and part now over all the world. We, the lost company, take hand together in the night. Forget. The answer is B. Night in our brief happiness silently. Complete the line from the poem. We who should many things throw all away for this one thing, one only, remembering that in the narrow grave we shall be. The answer is A. Alone. How does the poem The Company of Lovers convey the theme of the inevitability of death? The answer is C. Through military imagery and incurring death. How many stanzas are there in the poem The Company of Lovers? The answer is B. 3 stanzas. What kind of poem is The Company of Lovers write? The answer is C. A lyric poem. इसी के साथ आपकी 6 यूनिट कंप्लीट होती हैं.